Yo, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can pretty much take any offer and scale it past 100 grand a month. And also as well, if you don't know who I am already, my name's Kyle. I've been in the info space for about 2.5 years now, and I've scaled offers well past 100 grand a month all the way up to currently right now as we speak 600 grand a month and counting. So what I'm going to do is just break down my complete strategy of what I do to make sure that offers that I touch can get past the 100K a month mark. But now, let me go ahead and sit down and educate y'all boys and girls. So, before we get started on anything, one thing you're going to need is a godlike offer. Like, you really need a super fire offer that you can sell. And it's like, yes, sell it to organic, but you need to be able to sell it to cold. And when I make offers, I think about it on cold first, because if it'll work to a cold audience and if it'll sell towards an audience that doesn't really know and love whoever is the face of the brand, it'll sell organically. And usually, like, to just keep it really simple and not overcomplicate it, this usually consists of one-on-one coaching, right? Everybody knows, like, oh, one-on-one coaching is like the biggest selling point. No one really wants courses anymore. Like, course material is good, it should be on the back burner, but one-on-one material should be more the front end, because just the way it works now is people want to get results in the fastest way possible. So the best way to do that is to go ahead and just run through and get one-on-one coaching, right? One thing that I've been adding in as well to offers that has been completely printing is I have been creating AI trained mentors. And pretty much what I do is I prompt a lot of different, material into certain AI, and then it allows them to go through and like pretty much have their brain in a sense. And I mean, giving you an insight of what that looks like, this is like the back end of it, and you can see here all of the students conversating with the AI. But what this does too as well is, because you have to understand, one-on-one coaching is great, but you cannot, it's not that scalable. What I've realized, like, having a trained AI that can answer questions, because people sometimes don't want to bug, the other person too much, like, or the other coach too much. Funny enough, even though they've asked them questions, and I've seen a lot of time, like, thanks my time in the space, not just like selling, right? Because my big thing too as well is building a product and building an offer that actually will last long term. Is a lot of people, they sometimes they tend to be just like weird about it. It's like, oh, I don't want to bug you, even though they paid money for it. So you can tell, like, those type of people, like that type of personality, they use the AI trained mentor a lot, and this is what makes the offer stronger. Like, anything one-on-one coaching, an AI trained mentor, and some decent coaching material too as well, can definitely allow that to come in, and you have a solid offer. Other things as well that you can add on to make it a god offer, like, for example, if it's like, let's say it's a high ticket sales offer, having placement there, right? If it's like a SMMA offer, having placement there. Like, I've seen, like, a lot of times, a lot of offers, copywriting, high ticket sales, right? SMMA, the one offer that I ran was a growthoperator.com offer. Biggest thing, like, biggest selling point is if you have like some software, or if you have like some type of sequence to pair people up, that shit will rip. Like, your offer will rip, and that'll honestly come through and create a godlike offer for you. Moving on to the next thing, like, once you have a solidified offer, we then can go into, right, really how you can scale everything past 100 grand a month. Let me put my phone on silent, I'm getting random texts and shit. But how you can scale every offer, past 100 grand a month is, as you can see, this is going to be the biggest thing, but YouTube and Instagram. What I've seen a lot, like Instagram, the reels are great, but more so the stories on Instagram are just doing numbers. And also a way, like, you can have like very like punchy ways to insert your content, and people can come in and see. But YouTube is going to trump this organically, simply just because YouTube right now, especially for high ticket, is completely fucking ripping. Like, it's completely ripping, simply just because high ticket sales are all about trust, right? You have to get people to trust you more, and they're going to do that if they're watching YouTube, right? They're not going to really do it as much as they're watching Instagram. They're going to do it if they're watching YouTube. So having, a very solid YouTube channel, anywhere between like 10 to 20 minute videos to where people are watching more of you, the more likely they'll be to convert over into high ticket, right? And I see the best things that work is, when you're making YouTube videos, having, your funnel link inside of the YouTube description. Also, as well, pinned comments work really well too as well. That's what we're pretty much doing. Pinned comments with YouTube descriptions and a little bit of CTAs in there. Instagram stories, we'll have a lot of people Instagram DMing. That way you can throw them on sales calls too as well, and go from there. But what a lot of people if you're running your offer, or the people that are running your offer, try to shy away from is paid ads. And the reason why is listen, if you're not doing paid ads, you're just a bitch. Simply just because it's if you can guarantee lead flow, do it, right? If you can guarantee anything in business, do it. And with this, you're going to have YouTube videos that sometimes aren't 1 out of 10. Sometimes you're going to get some 5 out of 10 videos and they're not going to perform as well, right? But I know for a fact you can have, on average, between a 50 to around 120, depending on what your market is. Of course, cost per call. And as long as you have a price point that's suitable, you'll be good to go. You'll definitely be good to go. Because what I've seen is unless you're super viral on YouTube, unless you're super viral on Instagram, it is a bit harder to go off and scale these types of things past 100 grand a month. After that, it's just pretty much organic luck. But to get there for sure, you always gotta, even if it's retargeting, but just learning ads. And there's other ways to do it. You can come in and even do content first ad strategies, to where you're making them watch some hidden organic style content, and then you're going off and then retargeting them, so that way they're a little bit warmer. But this is a surefire way, because for example, one offer that I currently have right now, on average from organic, YouTube and Instagram, they were averaging about 20 people filling out the Typeform application. I added ads in, and now it started going upwards to 50, right? Just having that involved, just having that in the loop does wonders for the offer. If you just have more leads, right? If you have a fire offer, only thing you need is more leads and more sales calls to sell the offer. You're going to get 200 grand a month. It's not rocket science, right? And then pretty much what you're going to have, typically what I've just seen to work best for this is the call funnel. Call funnel will literally work in every single niche, every single industry. It's the most it's not you have, a challenge funnel will only work in XYZ niche and it won't work in this niche. Call funnel will work everywhere. If you have a solid VSL, if you have a solid ads going to it and some okay closers, you will do fine. A lot of things too as well. I use AI to prompt a lot of my stuff. You could probably just DM me if you want the prompts, honestly, and I can just shoot them over to you, because a lot of times you probably are writing with AI and it's coming out shitty, but I do a lot of my writing with AI, but I just have really, really good prompts that I've created over the years. A good VSL, and you'll be good to go. And another thing as well that I'm going to explain to you is sales calls you're going to use those a lot, but we'll explain that later. But yeah, simple call funnel. Right now, what works best for the call funnel, best practices, is VSL, a solid headline, and then under the VSL, let me just crop this so I can take this button off. But under the VSL, what's working best right now is if you just have the Typeform application just right under it, right? And I'll just put a T right here, Typeform, for you guys. But if you have the Typeform application under here, it actually works super well, simply because it just converts a lot better than just having a button then redirecting them to another page to apply. Just do the Typeform application. All right. And then what we have next is just the booking. I see a lot of people fuck this up. Just make sure they just can only book in for the next 2 days. 3 days max works much better. But this is going to actually be embedded into the Typeform. So just make sure you have that set up. Make sure this is embedded to the Typeform. So that way your cost per call will be cheaper if you do it like that. And like I said, shout out to Jerm too as well, because he pretty much gave me the data on this, but it'll definitely be cheaper if you do it this way. Moving on to the next thing. After a book a call, a lot of people, they just rely on, okay, if they show up, they close or not. I'm going to tell you right now, a big thing after this is having setters dial people as soon as they fill out applications. Yes, the first 5 minutes, but also they're triaging them. As soon as they're landing on the calendar, have the setters call them up and just triage them for the call. talk to them, see if they're qualified, and then make sure they show up the next call. You see the show rates will start to get higher once you are actually coming through and triaging leads that are on the booked call. Next thing we'll go through is, I know a lot of you guys send emails, right after the booked call, which is great, but make sure you're sending like actual valuable emails, like answering a lot of questions. Because if you're not doing that, you don't want leads showing up to the call for education. Not a good thing, because if they're showing up to the call for education, it's very hard to close them and frame them in a way to where they're going to pay on the call, because it's immediately, if they're not educated before the sales call, it's going to be a 2-call close, or it's going to be a disgusting fucking hard pressure 2-hour-long sales call, which you don't want, and your sales team doesn't want to really do that either. Trust me, a lot of 99% of people that are in high ticket sales aren't dogs like that to where they want to do that. So the odds of you finding like some dog ass closers like that on an offer that's not doing over $100,000 a month, it's going to be pretty hard. So just make sure you're doing that. Another thing too as well that you need to do is have some, this is why ads are super important, is after people book a call, you can put them in an audience and retarget those guys, and then show them, educational ads that they can go to before the sales call, so that way they can show up and be more qualified. Of course, after that, key thing next is getting them to show up to the sales call and then closing them off. One thing I want to tell you guys about sales calls that our bread and butter. Now I use AI to go ahead and just, watch all of my sales calls and then give me like feedback on it, so I don't have to sit there and watch hours and hours of sales calls. But I use sales calls for a lot of things. I use sales calls for sales training, right? But other than the sales training, when I'm training the sales teams, what I'm also doing is I'm seeing if it's a marketing problem. If it's not a marketing problem, or if it's a sales team problem, then I'm seeing who typically closes, right? And then from looking at who typically closes, then I go into, okay, who that typically closes, can we turn it into an ICP and use it in the marketing? Or can we turn it into an ICP and use it into the VSL, right? So I'm doing, and use it into the VSL headline. So we're looking at, okay, who typically comes in and closes? What's our general like person or like ICP that buys our stuff? And you can tell by the sales calls, right? Or who are the typical people that buy organically? Who are the typical people that buy from, like the paid ads? And then from putting that in, you could know, okay, these are the type of people. And then I use that and I put it in the prompts of, the AI that's writing me out my, ads, that's writing me out the VSL, that's writing me the emails. And that way it gets more dialed in. So it's like a big loop. It's like it comes from, if you put marketing in sales right here, it's just a big loop from sales back into marketing, right? And marketing back into sales. I see so many times where marketing and sales, they're just too busy butting heads, right? Arguing, oh man, these closers can't close shit. And then the sales team's like, oh man, this marketer's fucking shit. It works way better if both of them just work together to just create an infinite loop that just makes the lead quality way better, right? You do that. I've seen like multiple teams that I've done this. I've done this on multiple teams. It always works way better once both teams, they stop playing the blame game and both sides are just like, what can we both do together that can make things better? This will skyrocket your offer for sure. A lot of offers that don't go past 100K a month, they have this looks more like, it looks more like this, honestly. It's just like a big, like, it's just arrows that are honestly just going nowhere. That's what it actually looks like. It just looks like this. Like, it's like, oh, it's their problem, and this isn't even there. It's just fucking two teams fucking arguing about each other, and then fucking, let's just make this green, and then you can see a lot of money just fucking being thrown away and lost just by doing that. Sorry for my drawing and the use of the F-bombs too as well. But like I said, after that, you have it dialed in. Like I said, I'm using a lot of AI to write all that stuff and get all that dialed in. But what's next is honestly making sure you have a dialed in CRM. Like, what I like to do with the CRM is have all of this automated. So like no matter what, like if they come in, for example, and it's, an application, a booked call, they've been confirmed in Triage, they've been closed. I have a lot of it set up like it's automation. Just like based off the call notes is where they move in the CRM. I don't have closers move things over themselves. I realize they don't like doing it, so I found a way to automate it. If you're not dialed in with this section and not having like a dialed in CRM, bro, I've heard some offers that have been running around with no CRM either. Like if you're whoever's running your offer, if you're trying to save on $99 and you can't afford a fucking CRM, bro, don't even run an offer. Simply just because like you're just cooked, G. Like no wonder why you're not making any money. But yeah, having a dialed in CRM makes shit way easier. Also as well, having dialed in tracking. If you have tracking that's dialed in, you will 100% make a lot of shit easier. Like as you can see right now, the offer that's doing almost 700 grand a month. I can see my ROAS, I can see my profit, I can see the cash collected, I can see everything here. Same thing along with this, right? I have a dashboard here that shows, right, what the close rate is, what the show rate. We're mostly cold right now, so we're trying to fix the show rate. But this is just like we can see everything overall here. If you don't have dialed in data, it's very hard to make decisions, which is going to be very hard to allow you to know exactly what the fuck you're going to change, right? I see so many offers where they come in and it's like they're just fucking saying, oh yeah, we got to do this, and this, and it's like there's no data to track that. I don't make a decision unless I look at data, because once I look at data, I know like, oh, do we fix the show rate? Oh, do we fix the close rate? Oh, do we fix this? Do we fix this? Right? But instead, it's more so, a lot of people are just making like emotional things. They're firing people just because they feel some type of way, or they're changing things in their funnel. You don't want to do that, right? You want to just make sure you're making decisions based off your data. But I hope this video was valuable. For example, like I said, I don't really have an offer for anyone. If you already, the only people I work with like in my agency are people that have, like an info-based business or a coaching business, and they actually want to come in and scale. I'll come in and do everything for you full stack, and you could just pretty much hit me up in the DMs. But also as well, like if you're probably scaling up offers or like a growth offer or whatever, and you're watching this, hit me up. I'm always open to share some game too. But I'm gonna go. I got shit to do. I'm busy. Peace.